My dear students, I am your Sanghita ma'am speaking. Hope you are staying home and doing fine. As I told you earlier in my third audio, today I will discuss about the Vedic literature as a part of the topic Vedic civilization and literature. On 23rd April 2020, I posted here the audio lesson on language of the Indian subcontinent, and as you know, I also posted the English version of the said lesson here on 26th April 2020. Today's subject, that is Vedic literature, is deeply threaded with my last audio lesson. People belonging to the Indo-Aryan language family founded Aryan civilization in the Saptasindhu region, that is the region of the 7 sacred rivers. We have learned from our earlier lesson that Aryan is not a word based on race. It's rather a language-based word. Once upon a time, these people were spread in different parts of Europe and Asia, leaving their habitats in the Kyrgyz steppe grassland in the Middle Asia due to shortage of food for them and their animals. A subgroup of this language family that entered Persia or Iran in Asia is called Indo-Iranian language group. Some historians and linguists believe that people belonging to the Indo-Iranian language family might have been engaged in conflicts among them. Then a group from amongst the people belonging to the Indo-Iranian language family reached the coastal parts of river Indus through the mountain passes in the northwestern frontiers of India by leaving Persia or Iran and built their habitats in the Saptasindhu region. This group is called Indo-Aryan language family. People belonging to this language family are architects of the great Aryan civilization of India. These Aryans composed Veda. As we get to know about the habitation and livelihood of the Aryans from Vedic literature, this civilization is alternatively called Vedic civilization. Vedic civilization and Vedic literature is a huge subject in itself. If we attempt to discuss these two vast subjects in one composite audio lesson, that might prove to be huge and unmanageable. So, we need to partition the lesson. Today, I would like to confine my lesson only to discuss on Vedic literature. Before listening to this discussion, you should go through page number 47 and 48 of your textbook without fail. The word Vid in Bengali means knowledge, and from this only the word Ved has originated. The oldest of the Aryan literature is Rig Ved. After this, Samved, Yajur Ved and Atharva Ved were composed. So, Ved is 4 in number, and they are, as I told, Rig Ved, Samved, Yajur Ved and Atharva Ved. Each Ved has 2 parts. The Ved Suktas or chants are rhythmic. They are chanted or sung melodiously. This part of the Ved is called Samhita. The word Samhita means compilation. Therefore, the portion in each of the 4 Vedas where there is a compilation of the Veda Suktas or chants is called Samhita. Therefore, it is seen that each of the 4 Vedas has Samhita, like Rig Samhita, Sam Samhita, Jajuh Samhita and Atharva Samhita. Each of these 4 Vedas has 2 parts as well, which is composed in prose form. This part explains the Veda Suktas or chants in prose form. Therefore, each of the 4 Vedas has a part composed in prose form which is attentively called Brahmana parts. Initially, there was no written form of Chaturved. The sages in the times of the Aryans used to gain spells from the austerities, and they used to teach those spells orally to their next generation offsprings or disciples. They used to remember the spells only by listening to them. The Veda is alternatively called Shruti. As the spells of the Veda were remembered only through listening, to ensure that no form of impurity get mixed with the Veda through incorrect pronunciation or out of the lack of proper knowledge of the Veda, the Aryan sages composed Vedanga after the Chaturved. There were 6 types of Vedanga. 1. Shikha or Shiksha, phonetics or the method of correct pronunciation. 2. Chhando or Vedic meter. 3. Nirukto or etymology or the study of the origin of the words. 4. Jyotish or astronomy. 5. Kalpo or Vedic action or the method of movements of various body parts while chanting the Vedic spells. And 6. Vyakaran or grammar. Besides this, medical science of that age was called Upoved. Social life for the people belonging to the Aryan civilization was divided into 4 parts. 1. Brahmacharya. 2. Garhastha. 3. Vanaprastha. And 4. Sannyas. We will discuss this in more detail later on. But I am mentioning it here as after the Garhastha Aranyaks are Aryans, but I am mentioning it here as after the Garhastha Aryans on attaining 50 years of the age used to live in the forests, leaving their families. In the period of Vanaprastha, the realizations gained by them through the life experiences were scripted by them in the form of a treatise, and this is called Aranyak. The literary works in the phase of Aranyak are also included in the Vedic literature. In the subsequent phases after Aranyak, the Vedic Aryans composed their best literary creations. The creations of this phase actually signified the finest and highest level of philosophical realizations attained by the Aryans during the Aranyak phase. These compositions are called Upanishad. As there was no literary creation in the Vedic literature. After Upanishad, it is also called Vedanta. In the Vedic literature, only during the times of the Upanishad or Vedanta, Vedic Aryans could reach the ideas of monotheism from their so-called ideas of pluralism. So, we see that there are 4 phases in the composition of Vedic literature. In the first phase, Rigved, Samved, Yajurved and Atharvaved was composed. In the second phase, Vedanga was composed. Aranya came in the third phase, whereas we got Upanishad or Vedanta in the fourth phase. In the entire Vedic literature, Rigved is the oldest, as it was scripted as the earliest. Therefore, we get to know about the original habitation and livelihood of the Aryans from Rigved. This period is thus called early Vedic period. From the literary creations that surfaced after the Rigved, we get to know about the propagation or habitation and livelihood of the Aryans, and thus that period is called the